Bonnes camarades, comment se trouver nous là aujourd'hui, vendredi 26 novembre 2021, devant le Parlement pour une manifestation symbolique et pacifique contre ban nouveau la loi IBA du gouvernement Pérou amené à Maurice. Donc, avec nous ici aujourd'hui se trouvent Raouf Kodobakes, Dave Sunasi, Anouk Goudari, Rama Valaiden, Jean-Claude Barbier, Nina Ramdani, Fardine Ibrahim, syndicaliste Naren Gopi et juriste Rajen Norsingen et moi-même. Donc nous là, nous pouvons faire une manifestation symbolique avant de rentrer du Parlement à 3h aujourd'hui pour contester et lever la voix contre sa nouvelle loi IBA Amendments qui peut amener pour faire dictature dans nos pays. Moi pour dire quelques mots en anglais pour la communauté internationale, moi je présente ça partout pour qui la communauté internationale trouve qui peut arriver dans nos pays, qui qualité la loi dictature peut amener à Maurice. Et après, je peux prendre quelques témoignages de manifestants. Donc, hi everybody. We're here today on Friday, November 26th, in front of the Mauritian Parliament, doing a peaceful protest to denounce the new IBA amendments that the government of Mauritius is trying to bring in order to silence private radios and bring a political vengeance against certain radios, certain private radios in particular, that have been one at the forefront of denouncing crimes, corruption, fraud, and enabling whistleblowers in our country. To come forward so that we can see all of the corrupt practices that the government has been employing over the last several years. To put this in context, the current government led by Pravin Jagnnath, the MSM government, came to power in 2014 with an electoral manifest that claimed that they would be privatizing the TV stations in Mauritius and not just having the state-run TV called the MBC, which is what we call a boîte de propagande. It is a machine, a propaganda machine for not only this government, but other governments prior have taken advantage of the state-run media to abuse and at times misinform the public, as we have seen during the COVID-19 pandemic right now, where they have been propagating false information that the government has been feeding to the population and the world at large for several months, which we deem has led us to this crisis that we are in right now with the pandemic, where Mauritius is one of the top countries for deaths per million in the world. So, a little bit more about this amendment that they're trying to bring. The amendment would criminalize and put in jeopardy journalists' sources. So if there were whistleblowers, the journalists would have to, by law, divulge their sources. This puts in jeopardy the ability to have efficient and effective watchdogs, as the free press is supposed to be, over government activities. The reason this is being brought now is because Mauritius is facing unprecedented sanitary crisis with dozens of deaths every day. The people are terrorized, and the government finds that it is this time right now to bring such a bill, such an amendment to the Parliament, going in completely the opposite direction as they had claimed they would be doing in 2014 when they came to power. Instead of liberalizing private radios and TVs in Mauritius, they're going in the opposite direction, whereby they can now revoke, with this new amendment, they would now be able to revoke private radio licenses at their whim. They would only renew private radio licenses for about a year, as opposed to the current law, which
liberté d'expression, le combat ne fait que commencer et nous saluons tout camarades là, au moins 20 patriotes qui prennent père, non et nous refait l'appel à 20 partis politiques et à tout le monde pour participer dans un combat qui peut assassiner nos démocraties et libertés et nous remercie en particulier nos camarades Dave Sanassi qui est l'initiateur avec le professeur Norsingen pour commencer le combat et coordonner Bendimoun. Donc demain nous prenons un comité technique, après on a beaucoup de travail, moi, nous Avengers pour donner un coup de main, Réa pour donner un coup de main et nous ben camarades, tous camarades qui sont engagés le 14, le 15, le 16 pour donner un coup de main et moi faire un appel à la population, levez le prophète, levez le prophète, levez le prophète.
There we have it, the lawyer, leading lawyer from the team Avengers, Maître Ramavalayden, speaking to the protesters, rallying them to the cause against the new IBA amendments in Mauritius. Once again, please share this post, this video all around the world. Share it to news agencies, to your friends, to the diaspora. It is a message in English so that the whole world can understand what is going on in Mauritius, what is happening, and why we're here today. Let's take a quick declaration in English, if possible,
yes,
from Mr. Rajen Norsingen, one of the initiators of the protest today. Hi, Rajen.
Hi. I think people in the world has to know that Mauritius, which was once a beacon in Africa in terms of compliance with human rights, and fortunately there has been a series of attacks. There has been a sort of concerted strategy to quell the people, to quell the radios and the free press. Unfortunately, Mauritius is not sliding towards a sort of autocracy. We are squarely in a sort of dictatorship. Fortunately, a group of lawyers, a group of barristers, political parties, NGOs are coming together to say stop to this way of doing by this present government. Not only this present government, we want to send a very strong signal to any future government that they should never touch our section 12 of the Constitution, which guarantees freedom of expression. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rajen. As you can hear, everybody, there is an unconstitutional amendment that is being attempted to be passed in the Parliament of Mauritius by the MSM government of Pravin Jagnat. I am of the opinion that the reason that they're passing this amendment is that because they want to be able to ensure that they can steal the elections as they did in 2019. Again, at the next general elections, they want to, essentially, muselé, they want to put a mask and censor the population because the government is facing unprecedented criticism of the mishandling of the COVID-19 pandemic in Mauritius, which has resulted in catastrophic loss of life. And at this time, Mauritius is number one, or at least one of the countries with the highest death per million in the whole wide world, which proves that the mismanagement of the COVID-19 pandemic by this government, by the MSF government, led by Pravin Jagnat, is one of the worst mismanagements in the history of the COVID-19 pandemic. And yet still today, we do not have a total lockdown in Mauritius. We still do not have social distancing in the buses. People are packed like sardines in buses, and the virus is propagating everywhere. Pardon? So right now we had a peaceful protest, and as usual, the police showed up. As you can see, we have almost as many police here today as we had protesters. They were very courteous today, and we thank them. And we thank them for that. However, sometimes they do come here and act against the law. Real quickly, real quickly in English, Maître Ramavalayden will explain what is happening here in Mauritius.
In Mauritius, at the moment, there is a process by the present government to kill democracy, to muzzle every demonstrators, to muzzle every citizen who has the courage to stand up against the government, to stand up to fight for freedom of expression, stand up to fight all sorts of rights are being trampled in Mauritius at the moment, and they are using the current quarantine laws in order to pester, to harass all opponents. On the other hand, they are also using the police and the CID Central Investigation Department, the tax department, and other agencies of the government, again, to pressurize the government, to pressurize the opponents of the government. In Mauritius, it might be labeled as, they say, heaven, but in fact what is going on at the moment for liberty, for human rights, it's already hell here. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramavalaiden. As you hear, everybody, it is a precipitous situation here in Mauritius. Maybe we can get one of the syndicalists to come en anglais, un petit peu pour expliquer en anglais la communauté internationale. Here's one of the initiators of the protest, Mr. Narendra Gopi. He's a trade unionist here in Mauritius. You will give us a couple words in English for the international community?
Certainly, yes. In fact, when we see how the situation is evolving in Mauritius, we are really scared. We are really scared for the workers, because I am here as a trade unionist, and my main responsibility is to defend the rights of workers. So when I find government going in this direction, which is a very dangerous direction, with the decisions that are being taken, and especially now today, we are in face with a decision that doesn't suit a democratic state. It suits more of an autocratic state. And this is what exactly the government is doing today, is coming with an amendment bill that ultimately is going to amend the Information IBA Act. That will definitely bring the end. That's going to kill the freedom of expression and the freedom with which certain radios in the island operate. Like, for example, the Top FM, one of the best radio stations that we have, that really goes ahead with giving the opportunity to workers to express themselves every day. So, and the expression of the workers is disturbing government today, because they're showing government how really it's not being able to take the right decision to drive the country. So the workers, they are very scared for the fate of their country. That's why they are expressing themselves. And this is not to the taste of government. And this is why today we find government coming with a very strange type of bill that's going to kill democracy in this country. That's why today we are here. I'm together with my friend Ivan Bibi, giving him a helping hand in this battle. It's not, I'm not going to call it a battle. It's a war that we're fighting today. And let's be clear about it. We've not lost the war yet. There are many other battles to be fought before we lose the war.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gopi. Thank you very much. Thank you for your organization of this protest today. We will take one last interview in English with one of the initiators of the protest, Dave Sunasi. Please, can you tell the international community a little bit about this protest that was held here today?
Yeah, as a Mauritian citizen, we are all concerned with what's happening. Changing laws on urgency. Just imagine in UK, just imagine in France or USA, you have a law presented on the same day. You have this second reading, you have the committee stage, and you have the third reading. And it is voted without any really debates and discussions. No consultation at all with the civil society. No consultation with any associations. But mainly this law will simply close the mouths of the Mauritian people. They won't be able to express themselves, on radio. And this is why we are manifesting today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Senasi. We would love you, and we're asking everybody, please share this message all around the world. Passe ce message-là partout, diaspora. Envoie ça partout. L'Angleterre, l'Australie, l'Amérique, la France. Partout. Envoie ça message-là partout. Nous bisons faire passer ce message-là à la communauté internationale pour qui la voix mauricienne tendait. Merci beaucoup, bonnes camarades. C'est ça, frère, merci. Merci, merci, merci. Levez les peuples et prenez cette précaution. Ça fait pas bon dans nos pays. Nous bisons prendre nos précautions. Nous bisons mettre du sanitizer. Nous bisons implémenter nos propres lockdowns. Et nous bisons trouver une solution pour peut-être la grève générale légale dans nos pays. Nous pouvons mettre un link dans sa poste là à propos de la grève générale dans nos pays. Mais prenez cette précaution, bonnes camarades, ça fait pas bon du tout dans le pays et le gouvernement lave la main en nous. Donc, dernière fois, passe ce message-là, share this message all around the globe, let the international community, laisse la communauté internationale trouver qui peut arriver dans nos pays, qui peut arriver à Maurice et qui fait nous peut lève nous la voix ici à Zoji. Merci beaucoup, mon camarade.